Good morning guys and welcome back. In this video we're gonna start a new analysis tool and it is called moving average. But first of all, what is moving average and why is it used? In fact guys, moving average is an indicator in technical analysis helping us smooth out our curve by filtering out all the noise from random fluctuations. So if I have, for example, a curve of a certain price in this market versus a period of time, I'm going to have a lot of fluctuations. If I need to find what is the pattern, what is the trend, what is the profile, I have to use moving average because it will, in fact, remove all the noise, all the meaningless fluctuations from my profile. So how to do this using Excel? Let's take an example. So here guys, I have a certain period of time starting from 0 till 11 and I have the actual price of this market, let's say in this market versus this period of time. If I need to draw it, you can see guys that it has some fluctuations. In a real case, it's gonna have more than these fluctuations. So it has some fluctuations and I need to smooth out this curve in order to predict what is the pattern, alright, or what is the profile of this actual price versus the period of time. And this is why I should use moving average. So I'm gonna delete this curve and then go to data and then go to data analysis and select moving average. The first input that I need to indicate in moving average is my input range. Now my input range will be the actual price or it will be the one that I am studying versus time, alright? So it is this one from B2 till M2. I'm gonna drag my mouse from B2 till M2 and this will be my input range. Now, if you're gonna keep actual, for example, you have to select labels in the first row so that Excel understands that this row here includes the name of it, right? Now for the interval, this is a very important input that you need to indicate. You have to know, guys, that if I need to find the average, I need to select the interval of time. Which means if this interval of time is 2, then what I'm doing is to find the average of the current one with the previous one, or the sum of the current one with the previous one over 2. If the interval is 3, this means, guys, that I have to find the average of the current one with the 2 previous ones. If the interval is indicated as 4, this means I have to find the average of the current one with the 3 previous ones. And this means, guys, that if I select 2, then the first one here will never have any average because it doesn't have any previous one. While the second one here will have an average because it is the average of the current price plus the previous one. And this is if I am expecting a moving average for an interval of 2. Now what if the interval is 3? This means, guys, that I have to start from here. Because in fact, this one doesn't have 2 previous ones. It only has 1 previous one. So this means, guys, that this cell here doesn't have a moving average except for an interval of 1 or 2. So if the interval is 3, I cannot have a moving average for this cell, neither this cell. So this means, guys, that I should start from here if the interval is 3. If the interval is 4, I have to start from here and so on. So let's do this for different intervals. Let's do the moving average for different intervals and compare them using a graph. So let's reselect data analysis, moving average. So the input range will be from B2 till M2, and then the interval, I'm gonna start with 2, and then the output range will be starting from here. Of course, here I'm gonna have an empty cell or an error cell, which means it doesn't have any average. And then I'm gonna select the chart output in order to see the results, to see the profile and the trend. Then guys, I'm gonna select OK. So what you have now is basically the actual one, which is in blue, all right, and the second one that has an interval of 2. And as you can see, guys, the first cell doesn't have any moving average because it doesn't have any previous actual price. And then you can see, guys, that the fluctuations are almost smoothed out. Now, guys, what if I need to see the effect of interval on smoothing out this curve? So I'm going to increment this interval by 2. You can increment it also by 1 and see the comparison, but I'm going to increment it by 2 so that I can see or I can recognize the difference between these intervals. So I'm going to do it for 4 and for 6. And I'm gonna then draw them all on the same curve to see what is the difference and what is the effect of increasing this interval on the trend of this actual price. So guys, I'm gonna remove this curve now and then go to data analysis, select moving average, increment this interval by 2, so it is now 4, and then the output range will be this cell here. And then I'm going to remove the chart output for now because I want to draw them all on the same chart. Then OK. And then I have to repeat the same for what? For interval 6. Right? So I'm going to increment this by 2, so it is 6. The output range is now 5. And then I'm going to say OK. And this is the table of different interval of time, and I want to see what is the effect of this of increasing this interval on the fluctuations of the curve. Now guys, you should know that for the interval of 4 I have to start from here because this one is the average from this one to this one, right? So I have 4 numbers or 4 actual prices to do their average, while for 6 I have to start from here because at the cell I have 6 numbers to do their average. Alright, so in order to draw them all, what I have to do is to select from actual till the end of the table, then say insert. I'm gonna use this type of graph, and here I have to change X. Alright, so that it starts from 0 like the period here. So what I have to do is to select data and edit the horizontal axis, and this will be from 0 till 11. Alright, and this will be my curve. So I want you guys to recognize how increasing the interval of time and moving average will smooth out the curve. Basically, the curve in blue is the actual curve. It is the actual price where I have a lot of fluctuations and I cannot predict what is the trend versus time. Now, if I do the moving average for an interval of 2, which is in the orange, I can predict almost that it is increasing, but I still have some fluctuation. Alright, so if I do the interval of 4, I can see, which is in gray here, I can see that the fluctuations are filtered, there is no much noise, and I can start to predict the trend. While here in yellow, this is the moving average and for an interval of 6. So it is basically more clear profile, and you can see, guys, that the profile is increasing versus time. So whenever you increase the interval of time for the moving average, you're gonna have less peaks and valleys because they are smoothed out, and the smaller the interval in moving average, the closer the moving average are to the actual data point. So this is for moving average. In the next video, we're gonna start with the new tool that is the descriptive analysis. Thank you.